Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and it is June of 2019. By God, ladies and gentlemen, how this year has just been trucking along. One of the things I want to talk about today, one of the serious topics and concepts, is twofold, actually. The first one is fear and the concept of it. Fear can hold you back from living your life. You've got to overcome fear, and that's not an easy prospect. Fear of failure, fear of low self-worth, fear of just what tomorrow may bring. One of the things you have to remember is that we do not know what will come tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Because tomorrow is as much a mystery to you as it is to everyone else. You must seize the day. You must overcome the fear that lies within your heart to try to become better. It took me many years to do this. Only now, in 2019, was I finally able to throw off the shackles of fear that had placed themselves around my heart and move forward in my life. One of the things you also have to remember is that even when things seem particularly bad or particularly dark or like you're never going to be able to do this or that you just need to put aside those thoughts and say, nuts, I'm going to fight no matter what. Because even when life is at its darkest, there is still hope for success. I felt that way before, but I was able to continue on and succeed. Another thing you need to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, is that potentially permanent problems may not necessarily be permanent, so you might not want to apply a permanent solution to them. You never know what tomorrow may hold. While today it might seem like nothing will ever change, you never know if tomorrow might actually change it. What you got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, is life is a mystery. We never know what the future may hold. We merely must react to what may happen. We must be ready for whatever changes might insert themselves into our lives. They can be good, they can be bad, but we must not let it get us down. So yeah, bunch of serious crap. Now followed by this month's review, which of course is going to be Rogue Squadron 2. I'm going to be joined by an individual named Akbar Fan. We're going to provide an interesting dichotomy of opinion. I don't particularly like the game, whereas he does, and it should prove to be a fairly interesting review. And also, Rain's going to throw in his thoughts as well. Looking forward to that, actually. I'm also looking forward to the rest of the Star Wars year as well. I've already begun work on Jedi Knight 1. It took me a while to get that particular game to actually work. For my system setup, I needed a voodoo wrapper, and that made it run, but I remember back in 2013 when I reviewed it for CGR, I didn't need all that. Back in those days, there was no GOG version or Steam version, and what you had to use was the original disc copy, which I had, and a patch to make it run on Windows 7, which I did, and I remember it running like in 60 FPS. I remember getting it running a lot easier. I don't know what the difference is. I guess it's just, hardware changes and software changes and things of that nature. Overall, it works, and it's going to be a lot of fun to actually beat that game again. What's kind of annoying, though, is the fact that every time I want to save, I have to go back in the menu and click save, and every time I do that, it goes from 1080p down to 640 by 480. Pretty bloody annoying, to say the least. Oh well, such is the nature of PC gaming. Let's see here. I do recommend checking out a film known as... Actually, my brain kind of stopped working. I will admit I've been recording for about 4 hours straight, so yeah, there is a film that I wanted to recommend, but I can't remember what it's called at the moment. For some reason, I want to recommend Edge of Spider-Verse, but I think I've already recommended it. It's still a great film, one of the best Spider-Man films of all time, actually. There is a film, however, that I am going to be checking out as soon as I have, 5 seconds to sit down and watch something, and that's going to be Batman Meets TMNT. I actually picked it up on Blu-ray the other day because it looked like it was actually going to be pretty good. I watched a couple clips of it on YouTube, and I'm like, you know what? It's not some kid stuff. It actually looks like a legitimate show. There's been a lot of these weird crossovers as of late. There was one comic I wanted to get called Batman Meets Elmer Fudd. And I saw a review on it, and it made it sound really good, but I can't find the bloody thing anywhere. I went to a local comic shop and was like, hey, do you have this? And they're like, well, we don't have any of that. So it's like, brilliant. So ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, this might be a somewhat short update just because there's not that much to update this month. Basically, Star Wars year is going to continue apiece. I'm going to do the rest of Resurrection of Evil this month. And in July, I'm probably going to play some random games up until the release of Wolfenstein Youngblood, at which time Rain and I are going to be doing a co-op live stream where we actually play through that game co-op. So that should be a lot of fun as well. That's the film. I'm not going to recommend it because I haven't seen it yet, but it is something that I am going to go see. And I'll probably give my review of it in the next week live stream. But next Saturday, I'm going to be checking out Toy Story 4. I have no idea if it's going to be good, but the trailer seems sound. Oh, and as for Godzilla, haven't had a chance to go see it. I'm actually just going with some friends to see Toy Story 4. But I am going to give like a short review of it in the live stream of the following week. The trailer doesn't make it seem too bad. It looks like Woody wants to stop being just, somebody's toy and wants to be his own toy. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. The Toy Story series was something I was never really that into. I liked Toy Story 1 well enough, and I saw that as a kid when it came out, but I never really liked any of that. The thing is, I'm not a big fan of Disney. I actually am a big fan of Aladdin. I find it not to be as annoying, but I honestly think that's only because of Robin Williams. It's just one of those things. And I'm remembering all the things I need to remember. Going to potentially be reviewing and live streaming the MechAssault games for the Xbox. I'm still collecting Xbox games, and I remember those two existed. Both look really quite good. They're really nice third-person shooters, and they're very cheap. I was able to get a retail copy of MechAssault 2 for like $10, and then I was able to get a, not for resale, like a little paper sleeve thing of MechAssault 1. I thought it was really cool. And it was also one of those things where I got that one primarily because it was like the only seller that showed me the disc. Whenever you buy games off of eBay, make sure you get a reputable seller, and a reputable seller will show you the disc and see if it's scratched up. I kind of got screwed almost on Rebel Strike. This is the second time I've bought Rebel Strike. When I bought it the first time, it's like, oh yeah, the disc works. It didn't. It didn't even load up. So, yeah. I bought this for actually like $5 cheaper too, and it was in way better shape. And before we go, when I finally found TIE Fighter, in fact, this video is going to air after my Star Wars game collection video, but when I found TIE Fighter, I found a bunch of really cool old CD games that I want to actually show. And I picked up all the music CDs. Hey, yeah, maybe we should go through some music CDs. Scorpions, Big City Nights. This is actually my favorite collection of Scorpions music. AC/DC Live. This is my favorite collection of AC/DC music. It actually sounds good and not horribly slow. The Halo 2 soundtrack, Volume 1. I actually really liked this back in the day, but by God, do I not like Halo 2. This is another random one. Black Label Society, Hangover Music, Volume 6. I got this for a grand total of one song, House of Doom. Although I will say, Zakk Wylde is a very entertaining performer, to say the least. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Really good soundtrack. I finally found the bloody thing. It even came with a DVD with like Ian McDermott talking about the music. And then, moving on to games, found my original copy of Doom 2, the CD version. I'm not sure if it works. It doesn't really matter if it works or not, just because I'm using a source port with it anyway. This is, of course, the GT Interactive Software release. We got Quake 3 Arena here. This is not Quake 3 Team Arena, but this is the original one. Really excellent first-person shooter. Quite like it. Have always liked it. But this meant that, it's kind of proved the death knell of, like, story-based id Software games for a little bit. Actually, no, they didn't really do that. What am I saying? I didn't like it because there wasn't a story, but there kind of was. And the Doom Arena's fan film actually adapts this. I don't know. It worked well enough. I actually kind of liked the fake chat, the bot chat in this. And that bot chat was actually written by R.A. Salvatore. Then we got a game I absolutely love, but basically just hit the M key. B-17 Baumer. Flying Fortress. This is back when flight sims used to be popular. Yeah, I just hit the M key, which is for like machine, where the machine would like start the plane and fly it around. I will admit, I just kind of like played it like an arcade game and just kind of like tried to shoot down bombers, and I never really succeeded. I really liked the game though. It's one of those games where it had a manual like that thick just to play it, or you could hit M. Next, of course, we got another flight sim, European Air War. This is one of my favorite flight sims of all time that's not Star Wars related. Graphics were pretty good. I primarily just played this like an arcade game as well. I got this from a Micro Center. I remember I got it like late at night too for whatever reason. I think it was like around Christmas. But anyway, I had like a joystick that did not have a flaps feature. So never really played this that well. Still a lot of fun. What's kind of funny is you could actually bail out, which you couldn't do in the next game I'm going to show you. You could bail out, but sometimes the parachute wouldn't deploy. You'd smack right into the ground. Oh, and if you play... Oh, man. This used to piss my mother off. You could play, like, the story campaign, and if you died, you'd get, like, a telegram talking about your death. And so, like, I would, like, oh, yeah, I died in the game, Mom. And, like, it would have my name there. It's like, don't do that. That's horrible. Then, of course, we have Jane's World War II Fighters. This was a budget release that I got. What's kind of funny about this is my grandfather's laptop was really cool in its day, but it aged fast, like all games in the late 90s. So when I put this in it, the propeller looked like a box moving around. A lot of really cool planes. There was actually even a feature that kind of like is a little mini documentary for each plane. And I remember when they talked about the Supermarine Spitfire with its knife-thin elliptical wings. I always remember that line. And the Spitfire is a sexy, sexy lady, to say the least. Very, very awesome flight sim. I played it like an arcade game where I just kind of shot up all the bombers. Or I play like as a Focke-Wulf 190, just shooting down Heinkels. Not really historically accurate, but it was a lot of fun. Oh, and we've got the last two. Actually, this is not even a game. But we do have my original copy of Final Doom. I didn't like Plutonia, but I did like TNT. What's kind of cool, though, is you look at like the disc. The disc looks kind of epic. I didn't really know what any of that meant as a kid, but 5.56 millimeters, so evidently you're using an AR in the game, although I don't remember that. You got that weird little stuff here. It's like, that's almost where the box is a little better than the game in some instances. I don't have the instruction manual anymore, but, well, there's Final Doom. And the last of the CD things that I have, Tales of the Jedi, Dark Lords of the Sith. Oh, I mean, how did we, and for a review, I actually dug out, this isn't my copy, thankfully. This is a friend's, I'm not even joking. So how do we go from this to that? You know, I still have not seen Episode 7. I don't really want to see it. And I'm not going to see it this time, despite having the copy. The only reason I have this is for a prop. Because in Rogue Squadron I pretend to shoot it. But how do we go from that to this? So that's that, ladies and gentlemen. 2019 is moving along. And the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, even when things are at their darkest, if you fight hard enough, you can get out of it. And so, I am GeneralLotz, wishing you good, Dark Lords of the Sith, and good, Shadows of the Empire, whatever makes you happy. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and if you can, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue bringing you this awesome content.